So live, okay. Good morning all. Good morning all. So if you are able to listen my voice, please comment that it is audible or not. Then we'll proceed to our class today. Okay. And I hope you must have solved that exercise on atomic structure. If in the first 10-20 minutes we'll discuss if you have doubts. Okay. So if you have doubts, that time we'll discuss that. Then we'll proceed with the next chapter. Today our next chapter is oxidation and reduction or redox reaction. So I'll teach you theory for this, then we'll proceed for it. Okay. So, right. Okay, so do you have doubts? If you have doubts, you comment that you have doubts in this problem. Okay. We'll begin within 1 minute. So you be ready with your doubts. Okay. Now, so you comment if you have doubts. Okay, audible. Okay, so do you have doubts in atomic structure? Any doubts in atomic structure exercise? Good morning all. Do you have doubts? Okay, so question number 31. Imla has a doubt in question number 31. Okay, 31. We'll see question number 31, then we'll proceed. Okay. What would be the number of unpaired electron in sulfur if the electronic configuration of oxygen is 1s2, 2s2, 2p4? So they are asking number of unpaired electron in sulfur. So this is question number 31. Okay, and this module page number is 27. Module number is 1. Okay. So what they are asking, sulfur. Sulfur is 16. 16 as equals to what I write? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p4. This is the electron configuration. These are 10 plus 6. So total becomes 16. So basically these all are completely filled. Okay. P is incomplete. P is half filled or partially filled. So you will draw the box of P only. There is no need to draw for all. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how 3p4. So these two are paired. These two are, what is these two known as? These two known as unpaired electrons. So how many unpaired electrons? So the answer is 2. Okay, any other doubt? Any other doubt? If you have, you let me know fast, okay? Okay, so the next chapter is oxidation and reduction. Okay, oxidation and reduction. Now we'll solve those questions later because now I'll teach, okay? You're taking a lot of time. Okay, now oxidation reduction. So first you should understand what are the oxidation. So I'll write definitions. I'll write a table wise. Okay. First, this is called oxidation. Oxidation is known as loss of electron. This is process loss of electron. Then reduction is known as gain of electron. Okay. Another word is called addition of oxygen atom. Addition of oxygen atom. Then here I write removal of oxygen atom. Then here I write addition of hydrogen atom. Addition of hydrogen atom. Then here I write not addition, here we have to write removal of hydrogen atom. Here I have to write addition of hydrogen atom. And the last definition goes as oxidation, increase of oxidation number, which furthermore is denoted by ON, or increase of oxidation number. Then here I will be writing decrease of oxidation number. Okay, decrease of oxidation number. So now first three is easy. Loss of electron, gain of electron, electron is added or lost, or addition of oxygen atom is added or removed, or hydrogen atom is removed or hydrogen atom is added. And the last one is increase of oxidation number and decrease of the oxidation number. So I am giving another heading now, right? Oxidation number. So the next heading goes as oxidation number. Next heading is known as oxidation number. Okay, oxidation number. So now this has definition as the charge present on atom, the charge present on atom in the species when all the bonds attached with that atom are broken. It means the charge present on an atom, in the species when all the bonds attached with that atoms are broken is known as oxidation number. So basically it's a charge, but the charge present on an atom. Okay, so for this we have certain rules. Okay, we have certain rules. With the help of those rules, we are going to find what is the oxidation number of it. Okay, so next one is following are predefined set of rules to find oxidation number. Okay. Now, so once I write this, then this side. Okay, first on top of only will do. This copied, right? Then first rule is the oxidation number of atoms in their free state or elemental state is 0. The oxidation number of atoms in their free state or elemental state is 0. Free state or elemental state is also known as naturally occurring state. Okay. So now, example, let's say you want to have a helium atom. So what is the elemental state of helium? That is He gas. Right. Then, let's say you want to have a hydrogen atom. Now, hydrogen atom present in nature in which form? It is present in H2. So like that, N2, O2, F2, Cl2, Br2, I2, carbon graphite, carbon diamond. These all are naturally occurring. P4, phosphorus, sulfur S8, sodium solid, magnesium solid. These all are, that's how an element is present in elemental state. These all value of oxidation number is 0. Is 0. So this is first rule. That it is 0. Then we have second rule. Second rule says that the oxidation number of monoatomic species. The oxidation number of monoatomic species is equal to its charge present on it. It means the oxidation number of monoatomic species is equal to its charge present. Monoatomic species means what? If you have Na plus, monoatomic means single atom. Single atom, its charge is there. So the oxidation number is +1. If you have Ca2 plus, it is +2. If you have Al3 plus, +3. Okay. Then if you can have F minus, the -1, O2 minus, -2, sulfur 4 plus, +4. These all are monoatomic. I can write some more also. Okay, something like this. Cl4 plus, so +4. These all are monoatomic species. Okay, then the third one is important for you. Okay, what is third one? Third one is the summation. Third one is the summation of all oxidation number of all atoms present in the species. is equal to its charge present on it in case of polyatomic species. This is for monoatomic, this is for polyatomic species. This is for polyatomic species. Okay. In case of monoatomic, it is equal to charge, but in case of polyatomic, it is equal to its charge, but all the oxidation number. Such as example is H2O. It is monoatomic or polyatomic? Then you will tell it is more polyatomic because there are more than one atom. Polyatomic means what? Polyatomic means it has more than one atom. So in this case of our water, this is water. So how do I find oxidation number? So what is summation means what? Addition or total. Then I'll say 2 oxidation number of hydrogen atom. 2 times, there are 2 hydrogen atom. Hydrogen means hydrogen oxidation number plus 1 oxygen atom oxidation number. Oxidation number of oxygen plus 2 times oxidation number of hydrogen atom. This all oxidation number get added is equals to charge present on this species. What is charge present here? 0. So it is 0. This line, this rule will not able to find out. This rule will able to give you an algebraic equation. It will be able to give you an algebraic equation which relates oxidation number and the charge. This is for H2O. I can do it for this also. NH4 plus. This is what? This is also polyatomic species. Now in case of this, what should I write? Okay, write for this NH4 plus. Write fast. Only 3 people has written the answer. Okay, so here we'll write N plus 4 times H equals to plus 1. Right? Yes. Try to do for this. Do for this. Correct. C plus 3O equals to minus 2. Easy. Loud. But do one more. Okay. Try to do this one. Can I leave this now with you? Yes, okay, we'll start. Okay, now this is third rule, right? The fourth rule. Now, after this, after we finish all this, now what happens? There are predefined rules, predefined values are there. First value is this. Elements of group first A. Elements of group first A. What are the elements of group first A? Lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium and cesium. Elements of group first A. First A have oxidation number equals to +1. Now this is fixed. Now this value is fixed. This value is fixed. Then I write one more. Elements of group second A. Beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium and barium have oxidation number equals to +2 in their compounds. This is the important. In their compounds. In their compounds. In their compounds such as NaCl and CaSO4. Now in these two cases, I will write like this only. Na plus Cl equals to 0. There I write Ca plus sulfur plus 4 oxygen equals to 0. Now in this line, I know some values. What are those values? I know this value because this is here. Correct? And in this line I know this value because it is here. Clear? What else I know here? Na I know how much? +1. So +1 plus Cl equals to 0. So Cl equals to -1, right? So one I know, another I can find out. Here Ca is +2 plus sulfur plus 4O equals to 0. So sulfur plus 4O equals to -2. Here I cannot find out yet because there are two unknowns. There are two values. Sulfur I also don't know yet. Oxygen also I don't know yet. That's why we don't know right now yet. Here what I can solve. So you need some more rules, right? Yes. So after you have fourth rule, we have fifth rule. That fifth rule talks about this. So hydrogen has mostly +1 oxidation state unless it is bonded with matter. Mostly hydrogen has +1, but if it is bonded with metal, then it is not equals to +1. Hydrogen has -1 oxidation mass number when it is bonded with matter. Okay. This line means what? This line means is this line. There is hydrogen here. That hydrogen is bonded to an oxygen. Oxygen is what? Oxygen is non-metal. So, is it bonded with metal? No. It is not bonded with metal. So, this line is not true. Then which line is true? This line is true. Then hydrogen is in +1 plus oxygen equals to 0. So, oxygen equals to -2. But I can write another example. NaH. This is called sodium hydride. This is called sodium hydride. So if I write, I will be able to write Na plus H equals to 0. Sodium I know, plus 1 plus H equals to 0. So H is equals to minus 1. Hydrogen is getting minus 1 because sodium is a metal. So when it is bonded with metal, it is minus 1. Clear? Copy all this now. Then we'll proceed. Okay, so fifth is done, then we'll do sixth one. Sixth rule. Sixth rule is oxygen. Oxidation number of oxygen is mostly -2 in their oxide. Oxidation number of oxygen is -1 in their peroxide. Oxidation number of oxygen is -1/2 in their superoxide. In their superoxide. Examples also we can do. If you write K2O, if you write K2O and K2O2, okay, and then you write KO2. These are the example of oxide. First one is oxide, second one is peroxide, third one is superoxide. You can calculate and verify it also. Okay, so that is for sixth. Then the seventh one, oxidation number of fluorine is always -1. I am specifying as always. This is a statement which can never be wrong whatever happens. Oxidation number of fluorine is always -1. Example, HF. So H plus F equals to 0. So H plus F equals to 0. It means, do you know H? Yes, I know H also, I know F also, but if you are very certain for F, right? So write for F first. So H will equals to what? +1. The same way you can do for this also. OF2. OF2. If you write for oxygen, -2. So -2 plus 2F equals to 0. 2F equals to +2. F equals to +1. Which is incorrect. Okay, so why you did a mistake? Because you are certain about fluorine. Oxygen you are not certain which one it is. But fluorine you are certain, so you must have tried for fluorine like this. Oxygen plus 2F equals to 0. Oxygen plus 2 -1 equals to 0. Now oxygen equals to +2. This is the correct answer. There are two compounds. There are two compounds of oxygen. One is OF2, another compound is O2F2, in which oxygen gets positive oxidation number. The reason here is because it is bonded with the maximum electronegative atom, which is fluorine. So if you do here 2O plus 2F equals to 0, 2O plus 2 -1 equals to 0, 2O equals to +2, oxygen equals to plus 1. These are the only two compounds in the whole chemistry. These are the only two compounds in the whole chemistry where oxygen gets a positive value, else it will never get a positive value. These are called exception of it. Okay. So now this is 7. Okay, then 8th. 8th is, now as you go to p block, you don't have single valued oxidation number. As you go to third period onwards, because third period onwards d orbital is there, t orbital is there, d subshell is there. So in d subshell you can excite an electron and make different valency. Because of variable valency in p block, you do not have a fixed value, and there are so many elements to memorize, so it will become much more complex. So what we will memorize now? The range. The range of oxidation number is from n to 8 minus n. Is from the reverse I wrote, okay, is from minus 8 minus n to plus n, is from minus 8 minus n to plus n, where n is digit used for Roman numerals of group to which element belongs. To which elements belongs. Okay. So minus 8 minus n to plus n. Example we'll see now. We'll see phosphorus. Okay. Phosphorus. Phosphorus is 15p. Okay. Now in periodic table, later on I'll teach you this chapter also. This comes in 15th group or 5th A group. This comes in 15th group or 5th A. Now which one is Roman numeral? Roman numeral is 5th A. So this is Roman numerals. What is the digit used for Roman numeral? 5. The digit is 5, right? For 5 I am using Roman numeral 5th. So n becomes 5. If you write n equals to 5 here, what is the answer of this? Minus 8 minus 5 minus 3, 2 plus 5. This is the range for phosphorus. Means whatever compound you make for phosphorus, their range of oxidation number will always lies from minus 3 to plus 5. If you get a compound where phosphorus is getting minus 2, not minus 2, minus 4 or plus 6, it is not correct value. Understand? That's how we find out the correct value. Okay, so what I can do for one more, I can do it for sulfur. Tell me the range for sulfur. Tell me the range for sulfur here. Gada Akash, how to find out the Roman numerals is that you should memorize the periodic table. We have to memorize periodic table. Or if you have periodic table, you look where phosphorus is, you go upside, then you can tell. Yes, the correct answer is minus 2 to plus 6. It means whenever I solve for sulfur, its range will always be, its oxidation number will always be minus 2 to plus 6. In that only it will be. Okay. So now sulfur comes in 16th group or 6th A. So N becomes 6. N becomes 6. So minus bracket 8 minus 6 2 plus 6. This gets you minus 2 to plus 6. This is your range. Okay? Clear? Now question. We'll solve question. Find out the oxidation number of underlined atom. Find out the oxidation number of underlined atoms. I'm writing question on the board, you have to tell me the answer one by one, okay? And while writing in chat box, do not write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Write with which value you are telling, okay? In which question you are telling. So I wrote in 5 questions, you can have 5 minutes. Minus 1. Yes, correct. Kushma has got correct. Preetam has got correct. Bhanu Gowda has got correct. Hemal is giving answer for correct time. Okay. Vimla has got correct. Bhanu Gowda has got correct. Okay, so I'll also solve them. So if you have doubts, you tell me. I will write it like this: Ca plus 2Cl equals to 0, right? Now, in this case, I want to find for Cl, so I should know for calcium. Calcium is plus 2 plus 2Cl equals to 0. So I can write 2Cl equals to minus 2, so Cl equals to minus 1. Correct? Okay, then we'll write one more. In this case, we'll write 2H plus sulfur plus 4O is equal to 0. sulfur I want to find for these two I should know. So we write 2 plus 1 hydrogen sulfur plus 4 into minus 2 equals to 0 plus 2 minus 8 plus 2 minus 8 equals to minus 6. So sulfur equals to plus 6. Now there. This, what is the name of this? Potassium permanganate. K plus Mn plus 4O equals to 0. So we get plus 1 plus manganese plus 4 into minus 2. So we get is equals to 0. Then we get Mn equals to plus 7. Then MnO2. Mn plus 2O is equals to 0. This is minus 2. Minus 4. So manganese is in plus 4. Then we do there. 2K plus 2Cr plus 7O is equals to 0. Plus 2 plus 2 plus 2Cr. This is minus 14 equals to 0. So we get 2Cr equals to 12. So Cr equals to plus 6. Okay. Now try to solve this question also. K2Cr04. Find for chromium. Yes, that answer is also 6. We'll get 6. Okay, now understood how do we find out the oxidation number? Once we have find out the oxidation number, the next heading is called redox reaction. Next heading is called as redox reaction. Okay. Next heading is called as redox reaction. Now what is the name definition? Those reaction which has at least one reduction and one oxidation process. Those reactions which has at least one reduction and one oxidation process are known as redox reaction. I am using one called one reduction and one oxidation, and I am also using one word called at least. Minimum it should be one reduction and one oxidation. If you have more than one, it's okay, but you should have one reduction and one oxidation. Okay. So the example is this. MnO4 minus plus C2O4 2 minus plus H plus gives rise to Mn2 plus CO2 plus H2O. Now you tell me whether it's redox or not. This reaction which I have written is redox or not. So it's a redox reaction. So that's how do you have found out? Tell me what is the logic you are looking for? How will I tell it's redox? How do I tell it's redox? Tell me the logic. What is the logic? So oxidation number. What does it mean by I should find oxidation number? I should find oxidation number. So the manganese here, the oxidation number is in +7. Then this is in -2. This is in -2. This is in +3, +1, +2, +4, -2, +1, -2. I have calculated or written all the oxidation number values. Okay, manganese oxidized. Okay, correct. So now, once I have written this, then we should find out whose oxidation number it is changing. Okay, so manganese is changing from here to there. +7 to +2. Correct. Understand this line? +7 to +2. Now, what is happening to oxidation number? Tell me. What is happening with the oxidation number? What is happening with the oxidation number? Is it increasing or decreasing? Is it increasing or decreasing? Tell me. Okay, it is decreasing. If it is decreasing, then which process it is? Is it reduction or oxidation? So it is decreasing. So, and if oxidation number decreases, then the answer is reduction. It is undergoing reduction. So manganese is undergoing reduction. Which else oxidation number is changing? Oxygen -2. Oxygen -2. -2. So oxygen is not changing. Is carbon changing? +3 to +4. +3 to +4. And the oxidation number is increasing. So that is known as oxidation. That is known as oxidation. Once I write one reduction and one oxidation, then only this reaction is redox reaction. Then only this reaction is redox reaction. Okay, so tell me this. NaOH plus 2NaOH plus H2SO4 gives rise to Na2SO4 plus water. Is it redox or not? Is it redox or not? Yes, it is redox. Yes. Preetham and Anandaraju and Rajani Vijay, you did not understand the concept. Gauda Akash also you did not understand. Bhanu Gauda also, it is not redox. Yes, Nitish has understood. Okay, so this is not redox. The reason here is this is +1. We have to do this. But you can't simply say this is redox or not. You need to find out. minus 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 6 minus 2 plus 1 plus 6 minus 2 plus 1 minus 2. Whose oxidation, if it is a redox, then it should change oxidation number. You tell me which element oxidation number is changing. Is there any element whose oxidation number is changing? So in this case, there are no element whose oxidation number is changing. Sodium plus 1 plus 1, oxygen minus 2 minus 2, hydrogen plus 1 plus 1, hydrogen plus 1, sulfur plus 6 plus 6. There is no element whose oxidation number is changing. So it is not a redox reaction. Okay, if it is not a redox reaction, so that's all. So now what happens, why we are teaching redox reaction is, they will ask you to balance the reaction. Okay. So this reaction is known as non-redox reaction. Because it is not a redox reaction, so it is having a name. Its name is non-redox reaction. Okay. So now, if it is a non-redox reaction, how do I balance it? I will balance this reaction as I balance in a mole concept, basic concept of chemistry. I have written sodium, oxygen, hydrogen, sulfur, sodium, oxygen, hydrogen, sulfur, drawn a line, satisfying atoms, finding out which one is same, which one is not same, then do it. That's the same method. But for redox reaction, you can't balance from them same method. You need to find another method. Okay. So now, so this reaction I will erase because already balancing I have taught you. So now I will balance this reaction. Is this reaction balanced? Okay, first you tell me, is this reaction balanced? Reaction is not balanced. So how do I balance this reaction now? So there are methods with which of them we can balance a reaction. So easiest method I will teach you. Okay, that method is known as ion electron method. That method is known as ion electron method. And how do I solve? We solve like this. We write MnO4 minus. I'm going to break this reaction. Okay. Into two parts. What are those two parts? One reduction part, one oxidation part. So MnO4 minus is changing into Mn2 plus. So you write only these things. MnO4 minus changing into Mn2 plus. Okay. Then what happens is this. We balance this complete reaction. How many manganese? 1. How many manganese? 1. Balanced. What would oxygen? 4 oxygen, there are no oxygen. So you will balance oxygen with the help of water and H plus. So how many oxygen? 4 oxygen. So you will write 4H2O. Correct. Now you see 4 oxygen balanced. But when you did this, oxygen is balanced. But hydrogen are extra. How many? 8. Then on the other side 8H plus. Other side 8H plus. Now atoms are balanced. You see, there are all atoms balanced. You check now. Hydrogen 8, manganese 1, oxygen 4. Hydrogen 8, manganese 1, oxygen 4. Is this reaction balanced by atoms or not? Tell me now. Is this reaction balanced by atoms or not? Yes, but this reaction is not completely balanced because of charge. Now you look for charge. Total charge here how much? Total charge here how much? Total charge here how much? Yes. So plus 8 minus 1 is equals to plus 7. But if you look at the charge here, that charge is plus 2, plus 0. So total value is plus 2 only. Here plus 7, there plus 2. Correct? Here charge is more. Here charge is more. Now very crucial point. This is important. Whichever side charge is more. Listen very carefully. Whichever side charge is more, that side add that many electron. This side charge is more. How much more it is? Plus 5. 5 charge more. So what you do, you add 5 electron there. You add 5 electron. Now once you add 5 electron, then electron is negatively charged. So minus 5 will come here. Then it will get you plus 2. Right? Now the reaction is balanced. Okay. Now this reaction is balanced, and this reaction is known as reduction half reaction. This reaction is known as reduction half reaction because it is doing gain of electron, and whenever there is a gain, electron must present on LHS side. This is important. In case of reduction, electron must be written on LHS. Electron must be written on LHS. Electron must be written on LHS. Right? Now I'll write one more reaction. Okay, so I'm going to erase from the top. Okay, so what are the other? This is the reduction I've done. I'll do one more. The way I've done reduction, I'll do one more. Which one? Oxidation. Oxidation, C2O4, 2 minus converting into CO2. This is another change happening. Now the point here is how many carbon? There are 2 carbon. There are 1 carbon. So you should balance carbon first. So how do I balance? I balance by 2. Now, if I balance by 2 carbon balance, what about oxygen? 4. Now you tell me again, is this reaction balanced by atoms? So I don't have to balance, bring hydrogen, extra oxygen, not required because it is completely balanced. Here there was unbalanced oxygen, so I brought water and H+. but there is no need because they are already balanced. Okay, now once I do this, but you will find that this charge is not balanced by charge. It is not balanced by charge. So you find the charge here. Total charge -2, total charge 0. Now you tell me which side charge is more. LHS or RHS? Which side charge is more? RHS side charge is more because always take care of this value. Positive is always greater than negative. Positive side is always greater than negative side. That's how it works, right? Positive is greater than negative. It means this is 0. This is the positive side. So 0 is greater than -2. This side you have more charge. How much more? 2. So you will have that side, that many electron. So -2 will come, then -2 equals to -2. Correct. Now charge is balanced. Understood? Now, once you do this, now this becomes what? This becomes oxidation half reaction because electron are lost. If electron are lost, electron must be present on RHS side. Now, once I do this, then the next point here is I am going to add, because these are two reactions. I don't want to get two reaction. I want to get only single reaction. In order to get single reaction, I have to what? Add. Correct? But before I add, there is one concept. What is the concept? Total electron lost is equal to total electron gain. This is the concept. Total electron loss equals to total electron gain. This is a condition. If this condition matches, then only you have redox reaction, because this is the principle on which redox reaction works. So, these are the electron loss. How many? 2. 2 electron are lost. This is electron gain. How many? 5. 5 electron gain, 2 electron loss. Are they equal? So the normal answer is they are not equal. So if they are not equal, how do I make them equal? How do I make them equal? So this is 5. That is 2. You can make only equal. You can equate them only by this method. You can make this multiply by 2. Then this will become 10. And there you multiply by 5. Then that electron will become 10. So then I'll say total 10 electron are lost and total 10 electron are gained. Then both electrons are equal. Once both electrons are equal, you add them. But one more thing, when I'm multiplying by 2 to electron, 2 will get multiplied to the whole reaction. I'm multiplying by 5, so 5 will get multiplied to the whole reaction. If you multiply both of them, then what the reaction will become? 5 C2O4 2 minus gives rise to 10 CO2 plus 10 electron. This will become what? 10 electron plus 16H plus 2MnO4 minus gives rise to 2Mn2 plus 8H2O. Correct? I multiplied everything. Now I'm going to add. On addition, what we do? We write one single arrow, because these two reactions will become single reactions. So one arrow only, and whatever is written here, Left side of arrow, you add everything here, you write it here. Whatever is written here, you add here, you write it at that side. Okay? So now, but if same things is written on this side and that side, LHS and RHS, they are supposed to get cancelled. They are supposed to get cancelled. Okay? So, 10 electron is here, 10 electron is there. They will get cancelled. Once they will get cancelled, is there anything same written? Nothing is same written. So, whatever is, now you add 5 C2O4, 2 minus plus 2MnO4 minus plus 16H plus gives rise to 10CO2 plus 2Mn2 plus 8H2O. Now this reaction is a balanced redox reaction. This is important. This reaction is now balanced redox reaction. Now you find out atom wise, you verify this. Now your job is to verify. You find how many carbon, you find how many oxygen, how many manganese, how many hydrogen. Then you find out there, are they equal or not? Once you find out this, then you also find out what about charge. Is the charge balanced or not? If you are satisfied both the conditions, then only this reaction is redox reaction balanced. So your job is to now find out how much charge here, how much charge there, how many atoms here, how many atoms there. Individual atoms. Okay, do that. Then if you are able to get the all values correctly, then in chat box you write down, yes, correct, we have got balanced redox reaction. Verify with the charge also. So now I will revise it again. Okay, how do I proceed and get the balanced reaction? So first we will have a reaction to verify whether it's a redox or non-redox reaction. What you should do, you should first write all the oxidation number of all the atoms. Then you find out, is there any element whose oxidation number is changing? If you are able to find, is there S? So there should be two. One should be undergoing oxidation, one must undergo reduction. If you have only reduction, it can't be a redox reaction. You should have both. You should have reduction as well as oxidation. Then, once you are satisfied that it is a redox reaction, then we come to ion electron method. We write one atom, one species undergoing another change, the same atom. Then we balance this individual reaction by balancing atom, then followed by oxygen, followed by hydrogen, followed by charge. Other atoms, oxygen, hydrogen, followed by charge. One reaction I'll write like this. Then I'll write one more reaction. I'll balance by atoms, oxygen, and then hydrogen, and then charge. Then I will balance electron. I will balance electron because total electron loss equals to total electron gain. Once I do this, then I will get total electron same. Then you add both the reaction. That's all. End of this story. We have balanced reaction. Now for verification, I will verify this reaction by charge. I will verify this reaction by charge. Okay. So here charge is -10, -2, +16. Correct? So here charge is +4. What about their charge? 0 +4 +0. total charge here is plus 4 equals to plus 4. The reaction is balanced. Understand? That's how we balance the reaction. Okay, so I'll write one more reaction. You try to balance if you can easily. Okay, so that reaction is K2Cr2O7 plus C2O4 2 minus plus H plus gives rise to Cr3 plus, or you write down like this, 2 minus Cr3 plus CO2 plus H2O. So try this whether you are able to balance it or not. If you find difficulty, I'll help you out. So, did you balance it? Please comment, are you trying or not? If you are trying, comment up to where you have done. Okay, Vimla, take 1 minute. Meanwhile, you are solving, I'll give you an advice. Don't go outside as coronavirus is spreading a lot. Stay at home, be safe, so that you can write KCT exam, NEET exam. Right? It's a long way to live for us. So take care of your health, eat good quality food, homemade food you eat, and take care of your health also. Because health is primary. If your health is not good, what will you do with the exam? So take care of your health also. Eat good quality food and don't go outside. This is a great time for you, given by God so that you can study a lot. solve now. We'll try to solve it a bit faster, okay, this time. Plus 6 minus 2 plus 3 minus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 4 minus 2 plus 1 minus 2. So chromium is changing, plus 6 to plus 3, reduction. Plus 3 to plus 4, oxidation. So Cr2O7 2 minus gives rise to Cr3 plus 2Cr. So 2Cr, 7 oxygen, so 7H2O, double of it 14 H plus, then charge, plus 14 minus 2 plus 12, here plus 6, so 6 more, 6 electron. Then C2O4 2 minus gives rise to CO2, 2 CO2, easy job, plus 2 electron. Now you see here, will not get 2C, Vimla, your answer is incorrect. You will not get 2 Cr2O7. Chromium will not have 2. Now you see how. What happens is, right now this is 6, this is 2. The next thing is I have to balance it. I should not balance like this also, that not extra electrons, okay, not the extra electron. In Vimla answer, you see one more point here is this. What happens is here is there is a 6, there is a 2. To equal this, you should not multiply this by 2, this by 6. Not cross multiplication all the time. Cross multiplication happens those places where you do not have any common factor. Here there is a common factor. 2 is also there. 2 is also there. Because 6, if you write 6, could be written as 2 into 3. There is a 2. So I don't need to multiply the whole factor. I can simply multiply with by this factor. Right? So if you multiply this by 3, then this will become 6. That is itself 6. It means all the times in all the reaction I don't have to multiply in both the reaction. Sometimes, some cases I will multiply only one reaction, or this or that reaction. Sometimes I multiply both reaction. Understood? Now it depends on the individual situations. Okay. This will become 6. 6 will get cancelled. One arrow this side. Right side, whatever is here, I write it here. So that goes Cr2O7 2 minus plus 3C2O4 2 minus plus 14H plus gives rise to 2Cr3 plus 7H2O plus 6CO2. Now verify. You can directly verify with the charge. There is no need to verify with the atom. Atoms are already verified. So charge minus 2 minus 6 plus 14. This is minus 8. 14 minus 8 plus 6. Plus 6 plus 0 plus 0 plus 6. Both charges are equal. The reaction is balanced. Understand? So whichever has got 7H2O is correct answer. Okay, whoever has got 7H2O, they are having correct option. Okay. Yes, many people has got correct. Kamal has got, Shiva got correct. Samiha got correct. Darshan Kumar also got correct. Okay, most of the people have got correct answer. Okay, done now? Done. Okay, then next concept. Okay, meanwhile we are teaching about this concept, so you're doing this now. So this now, this chapter, whichever chapter I am teaching you is present in module 3 of KCT as well in the module 3 of NEET. And now this chapter has an exercise. That exercise is coming as page number 49. Page number 49. Okay, so page number 49, there are questions. You find this question, you solve. Whoever having module, whoever is not having module, today they will send you a scanned copy of it. Okay, so you solve it. Tomorrow will clear all your doubts based on this particular chapter. Okay. Okay, so now The next heading is known as equivalence concept. Next heading is equivalence concept. Now you remember somewhere we did mole concept, some basic concept of chemistry. That time I told you that some of the question I have told you that we'll solve this question in redox reaction. Remember that point? Some question number 9 or 13 we have written like that. We'll solve this question in chapter number redox reaction. So this is a point, this is a concept where we have to do that particular process. Okay. So now. Okay, so equivalence concept says what? Equivalence concept says only one thing. If you have a reaction that A plus B gives rise to C plus D, A plus B reacts together to give C plus D. Okay. Now in this case what happens? This concept says this. Gram equivalent of A is equal to gram equivalent of B is equal to gram equivalent of C is equal to gram equivalent of D. Gram equivalent of A equals to gram equivalent of B equals to gram equivalent of C equals to gram equivalent of D. Now, if they ask me, given me data for A and they are asking me data of D, then what should I write? I should write gram equivalent of A is equals to gram equivalent of D. Easy. Whichever data is given, whichever data they are asking, their gram equivalent is equal, not the moles. This is important. The moles are not equal. What is equal is gram equivalent. And if you remember gram equivalent, I taught you. So gram equivalent could be moles of A into n factor of A equals to moles of D into n factor of D. Moles of A, that is easy value. How do I find moles? There are three formulas: given mass by molar mass, number of molecules divided by 6.023 into 10 power 23, volume of gas at STP divided by 22.4 liter. Moles I know. The same formula also, I will not repeat it, right? So same formula of moles, but then what about n factor? N factor also I told you. N factor I told you three cases: acid, base, salt. You remember? So if it is an acid, then number of H plus. If it is a base, number of OH minus. If it is a salt, then total charge present on total cation or total anion. But these are the redox reaction. Okay, if it is a redox reaction, then N factor is different. Then N factor is defined as total electron lost or gained by 1 mole of that substance. Important point. Total electron lost or gained by 1 mole of that substance. Total electron loss or gained by 1 mole of that substance. This is the condition. N factor. Important point is 1 mole of that substance. Okay. Now example, same the same. Same. Okay, now you see here. Such as Na2S2O3 converts into Na2S4O6. Okay. And you can write something like this here as I22 NaI. This is a reaction. Now they will ask, they will give you this. They will give you Na2S2O3. They will ask you something related to Ni. Or they will give you this. They can ask you. It is not necessary that every time they will ask reactant and product. They can also ask one reactant is given, another reactant they can ask. 2 reactant, 3 reactant is there, they can give one of the reactant, one of the product they can ask anything. Okay, so we have to prepare for everything. They can give you this, they can ask you this. Then what should I write? I should write gram equivalent equivalent of I2 is equals to gram equivalent of Na2S2O3. Okay. And that could be written as moles into N factor of I2 equals to moles into N factor of Na2S2O3. Now, to find out moles is very easy. So, I am not going to go in a moles direction. I am going to go in a direction of N factor. Okay. So, while talking about N factor, what should you do? How do you find N factor? To find N factor, total electron loss or gain, it means you should know how many electron are lost, how many electron are gained. So, if you remember, we have solved reduction, half reaction, oxidation, half reaction. Their electron came, right? So, total electron loss or gain, it means you should first find oxidation number. You should first find oxidation number. In order to find oxidation number, 0, right? Plus 1, minus 2. Now here also you can do directly. Minus 2 into 3, minus 6. Minus 6 plus 2, minus 4. Minus 4. Right, minus 4 goes that side. Plus 4 by 2. So here it is in plus 2. Then you should do it here. Okay. Plus 1, minus 2. Minus 2 into 6. Minus 12. Minus 12 plus 2. Minus 10 goes that side, plus 10 by 4. So we get plus 2.5. This is called fractional oxidation state. Okay? Plus 1, minus 1. Now, so is it oxidation number? Is it redox reaction? Yes, it is redox reaction because 0, minus 1, 2, 2.5. Okay. Now, so is it, I can find it, change in oxidation number, 0 to minus 1. 0 to minus 1 is reduction. Sulfur plus 2, 2 plus 2.5, increasing, so oxidation. Now, once you have oxidation and reduction, I need to find how many electron loss or gained by 1 mole. By 1 mole. So, if I want to find I2, I2 is 1 mole. I2 is 1 mole. Okay. In this I2, single iodine, listen very carefully, single iodine is changing from 0 to minus 1. But how many iodine in 1 mole of I2? 2. So it means you should calculate for 2 iodine. Whichever N factor you want to calculate, find out how many atoms are there in that particular mole. In that there are 2 iodine. For 1 iodine, 0 to minus 1. So 0 to minus 1. But for 2 iodine it will be 0 to minus 2. Because 2 iodine here, and there also 2 iodine. So there it will become minus 2. I will multiply those whole value by 2. Right? So 0 to minus 2. It means, now in this case, 0 to minus 2, it means oxidation number is decreasing. It means gaining of electron. How much gain? 2 electron. Correct? So 2 electron are gained. 2 electron are gained by 1 mole of I2 is, then the N factor of I2 is 2. Then the N factor of I2 is 2. Now we should do it for this S2O3. Single sulfur is changing from plus 2 to plus 2.5. But in case of Na2S2O3, in case of Na2S2O3, how many sulfur are there? Not for sodium, not for oxygen. Whose oxidation number is changing? Sulfur. So there are 2 sulfur. So for 2 sulfur plus 4. For 2 sulfur plus 4, 2. So there also multiply by 2 then. Correct? 2 sulfur. So 2.5 into 5. So 5 plus 5. So here 1 electron is lost. And the 1 electron is lost. So the N factor of Na2S2O3 becomes 1. Okay, I'll go one more step. Okay. Gram equivalent of Na2 into n factor of NaI. I've calculated these two n factor. I'll calculate for them also. Okay. So while calculating for them, now your substance is Na2S4, 4 sulfur. Correct? In case of 4 sulfur, now S4 is here only, Na2S4, this molecule is here. 1 sulfur is in 2.5. So 4 sulfur are in 10. Easy. So this is changing from here to there. If it is changing from here to there, 1 sulfur is in +2. How much sulfur you are talking about? 4 sulfur. So 2 into 4, 8. There, 10. Changing from 10 to 8. This is changing from 10 to 8. 2.5. I'll write like this. 2.5 into 4 to 2 into 4. So 10 to 8 changes by 2. So the n factor is 2. Now I'll do for NaI also. NaI is -1. How many iodine are there? 1. How many iodine are there? 1. For 1 iodine, changing to there. 1 iodine -1. There 0. There are 2, but it doesn't matter because I'm not calculating for that I2. I'm calculating for NaI. So it depends on which substance n factor you are calculating. Okay. You are calculating NaI for this. So I is 1. Single iodine -1. So 1 iodine from -1 to 0. -1 to 0. So -1 to 0 changes by 1. So the n factor is 1. Listen up here again, okay? There are 2 iodine. So 0 into 2. 2 minus 1 into 2. So 0 to -2 changes by 2. Here you look at Na2S2 plus 2 into 2. 2 plus 2.5 into 2. So plus 4 to plus 5 changes by 1. So the n factor is 1. Understand now? If you have understood all this concept of n factor, in comment box write down, yes, I have understood. If you have understood this concept of n factor, in your comment box write down, yes, you have understood it. So now we'll solve a problem, okay? Okay, one more point here only, this side. Equivalent, once you know the n factor, then we can write equivalent weight. Equivalent weight equals to molar mass by n factor. Molar mass by n factor. Molar mass is for substance. Molar mass of I2 we can find out Na2S2O3, I can find out Na2S4O6, we can find out NaI. Divided by their n factor, we can find equivalent weight. Okay, then there is one more formula. Gram equivalent equals to given mass by equivalent weight. This is a gram equivalent equals to given mass by equivalent weight. One more formula already I told you. Gram equivalent equals to moles into n factor, the same formula. Okay. So gram equivalent can also be calculated as given mass by equivalent weight. Equivalent weight is molar mass by n factor. These two formulas. Now we'll solve the problem. equivalent mass of a divalent metal M which combines with 32 gram of dioxygen? Okay, so divalent metal, I write M plus O2, it will form a divalent compound called MO. Okay, understand? If it forms MO, divalent, M2 plus is there, oxygen 2 minus is there, so we write half O2. Okay, then now what I write is gram equivalent of M. Gram equivalent of M equals to gram equivalent of O2 also equals to gram equivalent of MO. Okay, now this gram equivalent equals to moles into N factor equals to moles into N factor, this side O2, that side M. Because metal and oxygen data is given, this is given, this I want to find out. Okay, so moles. Given mass I write now. Given mass by atomic mass into N factor of M. So you should find N factor. This is 0. There plus 2 minus 2. This is 0. So 1 mole of M, 0, 2 plus 2. 0, 2 plus 2. So the N factor is 2. Then moles. Given mass is 32 by molar mass of oxygen is 32 into N factor of O2. Into N factor of O2. Now the N factor of O2. So 0, 0. There minus 2. But O2, how many oxygen? How many oxygen? 2 oxygen. So 0 into 2, 2. Minus 2 into 2. So 0, 2. Minus 4. Changes by 4. So the N factor is 4. Right? Then I can write given mass by atomic mass into 2 equals to 4. Or then I can say given mass by atomic mass equals to moles. Moles equals to 2. Okay. Instead of what will be the equivalent mass, you can write what will be the moles of a divalent metal M which combines with 32 gram of oxygen. So they combine 2 moles. Clear? So if I have given you atomic mass, if I give you atomic mass that metal M is calcium, metal M is divalent, divalent metal could be calcium, then I can write calcium atomic mass 14. So given mass by moles equals to 14 equals to 2. So 14 into 2, 80 grams. Understood now? So that's how we use equivalence concept also. And the last point on this side is this way. Okay, so now the next one is heading called titration. Okay, in a case of titration, this is the same way. Titration is acid reacts with base to form salt plus water. Then you can write one line. Gram equivalent of acid is equals to what? Gram equivalent of base. Some value is given here, some value is not given here. You can calculate base value, you can calculate any acid value. So in case of titration, shouldn't be minus 4. No, N factor will always be a positive value. It is not a negative value. N factor will always be a positive value. Always positive value. It can be integer, it can be fraction. Okay, but it cannot be a negative value. N factor is always a positive value. It is total electron loss or gain. Here you see minus 4. This means This is not the n factor. This is not the n factor. Nor this. Change of them is n factor. Neither this n factor nor this n factor. The change is known as n factor. Understood? Rajni, Vijay? Okay, so by this today class is also about to get over, and that's already I told you that you have to solve this module. Okay, in the next class we will start chemical equilibrium chapter. Okay? Okay. Any other doubt? If you have, you can comment and ask me if you have doubts. Any doubt in today class? Okay, you were asking me some doubts in module 1, right? In atomic structure, you have asked me some doubts in the morning. Which question you were asking me? Yes, it will be equal to gram equivalent of salt also. All in a chemical reaction, whatever is written, it will be gram equivalent all. 1 gram equivalent of 1 is equal to gram equivalent of any other thing. Okay, question number 33. Question number 33. Maximum number of unpaired electrons are present in. We can write down, we can find out. Okay. Okay, first we'll solve question number 33. Okay. Chapter is now atomic structure. Question number 33. Maximum number of unpaired electrons are present in. So you need to find an all. Zn 2 plus you will be writing 4s0 3d10. Okay. In other options are Cu2 plus you will be writing 4s0 3d9. Then in Ni2 plus you will be writing 4s0 3d8. Then in case of Mn2 plus you will be writing 4s0. Again now it is coming. Okay, so question number 35. 35 is if the hydrogen atom is excited by 8.4 electron volt energy, then the number of emitted spectral line volt. So what happens is if the delta E which is given as 8.4 electron volt, if it is equals to minus 13.6 into 1 square into 1 by 1 square minus 1 by n square. On solving, if n comes as integer, then only that photon is observed. Then only that photon is observed. Okay. So this is 35 question. After 35 we have 43 question number. In the ground state of 24, the number of orbitals with 1 or 2 electrons are. This is question number 43. 43 is in the ground state of 24. Cr. So if you write Cr 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6, 4s1, 3d5. These are the columns. These are the electronic configuration. What they are asking is number of orbitals with 1 or 2 electrons. With 1 or 2, there are 2, 2, 6. It means there are 3. In that, each having 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1 is having, 1, 1 is having. It means all the orbitals are having at least 1 or 2. So we can count the orbitals. As we can count the orbitals, then we can have the answer. Okay. Okay, so 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 5. These are the number of orbitals. You add them and you will get an answer. 1 plus 2, 5, 6, plus 3, 9, plus 1, 10, plus 5, 15. The answer is 15. What are the other doubts you have? What are the other doubts you have? So, any other doubts do you have? If you have doubts, now you try to solve them. We'll continue in the next class. Okay? Thank you all. Thank you very much.